Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Bless you for your presence. Each one of you, the new, the returning, the seekers and like-minded mystics, healers, artists, all of us, all inclusive. I am reading for June's readings, and well, today I'm going to be featuring the beautiful air sign that is a mutable sign as well as Mercury ruled, fun, intelligent, articulate, quick duality sign of Gemini. And Gemini, we're in your sun season, so it's your solar return, and it's been an interesting one thus far, I can imagine. Because basically from the beginning of it, and even prior to the beginning of it, which would have been May 20th, we had the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, and being as Mercury is your ruling planet, it definitely tends to affect a lot of the Geminis I know, and other air signs like myself. That would be Aquarius and Libra. I'm a Libra, and this one really affected me. I know all the symptoms, if you will, of a Mercury retrograde, and I appreciate them because it helps me put things into perspective, and I would like to share some of those if you're brand spanking new. And I'll keep it short for those who are like, come on now, really? We're still talking about this? But I like to talk about what's current and the energies that are, affecting all of us, and specifically you, like I said, Gemini. And that is that, transportation can get affected during a Mercury retrograde. Certainly the mind and communication and thoughts, everything is not as clear. And there's a lot of misunderstandings, whether it be in written form or, sending an email or speaking. It's just the tongue is not quite connecting to the synopsis of the brain, as I like to say. But here's the good news, Gemini. Mercury stationed direct on Friday the 4th. Today's the 5th. So it actually was the 3rd, I apologize. And the day of, and certainly the day after and before, and as well as the beginning of it, still wonky for sure. But we actually are heading in the direction of forward movement with more clarity every single day. And that might actually take upwards of, well, they say through the 19th of June. But you'll understand, and you're definitely going to start feeling it, especially because it's your season. I think you're being guided and blessed and always, of course, supported for fun and being able to just have that clarity coming in for you. So I like that a lot. Yesterday on the 4th, the actual 4th, we had Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, your other fellow air sign, retrograde, station retrograde. So that'll happen through October 22nd. And other than that, technology gets very affected during the Mercury retrogrades, and it definitely affected my ability to do my YouTube uploads and such. So even now they're still taking a good day or so. So I want to get these out. I usually only do a reading a day, so it's not like I feel like I'm behind, and I decided not to go into that whole process anyway. It doesn't work for me as a reader. And for those that are brand new, I will tell you, I do have a little bit of a protocol that I like to do. I always will read for each sign to the best of my ability, and I will pick a love connection through spirit right in front of you to let you know the specific sign, energy, person on any level of love that will be prominent in that particular month, and it could be afterwards as well. And so that's going to happen. Now, all of my readings I do strictly from my heart, and they're, I guess you could say, well, they're in the moment. There's no memorization, and a lot of times, it's not the best, but what are you going to do? I'm letting spirit work through me, and the messages come through along with my beautiful divinations of my tarot and oracles that I use. So speaking of that, first I want to pick your spiritually guided love connection for the highest good of you and the information coming forth that might be of use to you. So you may or may not resonate immediately when I tell you, but allow time, because spirit and time is, totally different than the linear time that we experience in this 3D world. And so that's something to consider whenever you watch. This is perfectly acceptable. I always ask that you watch this is good for a sun, moon, Ascendant and Venus placement of Gemini, or any kind of placement. Because in your natal chart, you have all the different houses, and Gemini will be in one of those, affecting you in some way. And it's always so great to look that up. So we'll move on from there. Now, the beautiful love connection. And I do want to say, as I'm shaking a little longer, that this is a month of June, and it is the 6th month, and I love it because 6 represents the planet of Venus. And that's definitely love. So there's definitely much, I would say, much bigger emphasis this month on romantic love, which I don't normally say, but this is one of those months because, like, you know, there's all different reasons and rhymes and seasons for things, and this is one of them. But I'll go into a little more depth about that in just a moment. So your specific love connection of importance is Sagittarius. I was going to say Gemini. Sagittarius, your polar opposite, man. I've seen this combination over and over again, and it never ceases to amaze me. I've been studying the astrology and compatibility with people together since I was 12. I always tell my story. It was my boyfriend, who was a Sagittarius, who told me that I was a Libra, and then it's never stopped. And wow, okay, so this is really, really pertinent because we had the new moon in your sign, Gemini, on the 30th of May. And that energy and those messages, those connections with you, the power, the energy is going to last for all of us, and especially for you being in your sign, for months to come. And we're still feeling and will be feeling the effects of the 2 eclipses, which was the last month was also, in addition to a Mercury retrograde, it was eclipse season. So we had the Taurus new solar eclipse on April 30th, and then we had the very powerful super blood moon in lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. And this is intensity to the nth degree, and it's sensuality, it's sexuality, it's life and death and rebirth and renewal, transformation, maybe within yourself and maybe with your relationships, no matter what they are, and necessary to move on to another better stage. And alas, I'd be remiss to not mention that, you know, Jupiter, the benevolent, beautiful planet that visits our sign only once every 12 years, so not many times in a lifetime, went into the very day that Mercury went retrograde in your sign, Gemini, Jupiter went into Aries. Now that's fire and that's passion in itself, but it's optimism. Like a child, it's number one, you know, I'm the leader. I start the astrology year. This is Aries. I start the season of spring. I'm cardinal, I'm a doer, I'm a mover, I'm a shaker, as you are. And that's fascinating and fun. And it brings in this power and this energy and this motivation that a lot of Mercury retrogrades, and there's other planets that have gone retrograde. Pluto went retrograde on the 29th of May. And that's our transformation. That is the ruling planet of Scorpio. Huge emphasis that will last, once again, for months to come. The story will continue to unravel. Sometimes things come in quickly with eclipses. Sometimes they're taken out. Or, you know, you just keep learning throughout the time and the energies until the next one, and then it brings in more information. But you have Sagittarius, and it's so beautiful because it's very prevalent with that wonderful, powerful, optimistic energy. After all, the ruling planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter. So there's that wonderful double whammy there, and that is your polar opposite. So you're always in kind of connection to that anyway. And you have a duality personality. You're known for that. You're known for the twins, you know, and that can go in many different directions. You might be shy in some ways and then outgoing on other times. Overall, just a really incredibly motivated intellectual person who wants to learn and grow and share and, you know, pass on knowledge, you know, for the betterment of everybody. And have fun in the process. You're independent, and God knows Sagittarius is. So there's just this really beautiful, harmonizing, magnetic energy between the two of you. But the full moon is happening on the 14th. And that is going to be in Sagittarius. And I've got to tell you right off the bat, straight up, and that's still while you're in your sun season, because we don't turn into Cancer season until the 21st, I believe. So this is about adventure. This is about travel. This is about higher learning. Ninth house representation of, Sagittarius, philosophical connection, communication. It always comes down to information and communication with you in many ways, and people respect you for that, and they look to you for advice and, and ways that they can better learn or understand any topic, pretty much. You know a little bit about everything, Gemini. So this fills my heart and lightens me instantly to see that would be an important aspect of June, because it is. It's not only important maybe just on a regular day-to-day basis, because I think a lot of you, as you're watching, doesn't matter the gender, you understand that you can totally relate, and I've had a lot of good relationships with a lot of Sagittarians, and if something went awry, well, that's normal too. But on the whole, I think it's a friendship, if nothing else, that can be a lifetime friendship. And you love friendships, so that's really beautiful. And then we do have, let's see, what are really important things. I don't like to go too much into it. I'm an aspiring astrologist, but I definitely follow the forecast, if you will, every single day, and have for many years. And I feel like I could take a course at some point. I've always pretty much self-taught myself by reading and experiencing in life real-time situations, and I do readings in person, of course, where I work as a massage therapist. But hang on to that, okay? And if you don't know of a Sagittarius, which is possible, not every Gemini does or has been involved, it is the time frame between the 21st of November, actually the 22nd, through the 21st of December. So maybe now you might, I didn't know that friend or that family member that I love, and we always seem to want to do things and hang out together. Or, a pet you may have adopted. That would be beautiful to have a Sagittarius, I'm just saying. And I do check those things out with my pets. But anyway, that's good news. So now what I'm doing this month as well, because I'm going to be reading the 4 cards representing each month of the week. And then I'm going to have a couple of oracles, and one being finishing with the oracle of beautiful divination. And I love how much it's been so synchronistic with the readings, truly. And that's why I've always loved the runes. So I'm wanting to memorize them. I've got my flashcards and my beautiful velveteen pouch to, have it as the cherry on the sundae, if you will, for your reading. But what I'm doing is picking out the decks and impromptu, the day of. And what really strikes me and what Spirit is wanting me to convey through the different decks I have. So as I turn around, I feel like right off the bat, of course, it would have to be the movie deck, because, your stars, you're like, this is your birthday season. It's on you right now. I would hope so. And if anybody's having a birthday today, which is, like I said, June 5th, happy birthday. Birthdays are special, without your birth, you wouldn't be here. And without you being here, I wouldn't really have the ability and the desire and the passion I have to do the readings for you. So I love these decks. This other one I'm going to do will be, I'm just throwing it in there for some reason. It just came to me. Animal medicine cards. They're pretty amazing. So we'll start with the movie tarot, and what's really cool is it takes these wonderful, well-known actors and actresses, and they have their pictures on it, and then it's basically the same, of course, tarot deck, the 22 major arcana and then the minor arcana and so forth. But I think it's beautiful. I can't believe how many incredible decks there are out there. I'm going to leave the booklet out because sometimes, because I'm an older species, that I forget the actual movie that they were in, even though I may have seen it 20, 30 years ago. So let me do that for you. Oops, did I bring in my water? I did. I've got my vitamin water because sometimes the throat thing, I've noticed the chakra has been kind of affected. And I never know if it's from the people watching, even though I'm doing this and it's not live. It's me. I'm 100% sure. But I don't want to ruin the cards by getting them wet. So let me do a little bit of shuffling here for you. and just say to you that, oh, I started to say, so we have Cancer season starting after yours, which is the 20th of June, and then the 21st is summer solstice, because also being a cardinal sign that Cancer is, it is, they initiate the season of summer. Here it is, everybody. Here's a 6-month already, and Cancer is about the heart, their emotions, you know, their sensitivities, their sentimentality. They love family and people they're familiar with. They want to hold them and bring them close through and nurture them, and they can be, you know, very kind of internal, because, you know, they are the crab. They represent the crab, and that crab has a harder exterior shell, but inside they're mushy and soft and loving, and, you know, they're very concerned about protection and trust. They like to trust, you know, and I know because they're right next to you, Gemini, there's a lot of compatibility. As different as you are, you definitely help to lift each other up in a lot of ways. So that's going to be pretty powerful. That's the longest day of the year. And then the new moon is in Cancer on the 28th. So bam, you know, you're going to write down those intentions, Gemini, as to what's really happening, because it is about your emotions. It's about relationships. And with Mars, I didn't mention that. Jupiter is in the sign of Aries. Mars went into Aries, and Mars is just perpetuating and fully forcing the Mars ruled sign of Aries, now with its ruler in its sign through July 5th. It's on, man. It's almost like you have to hold back a little bit, which is not something I know I like to do, but it gets really, really excitable and almost confrontational. I mean, Mars is the planet of the warrior planet. It's all about masculinity. It's all about whether you're a man or a woman. So just being aware of that. People might be even a little more out of sorts sometimes when they're expressing themselves or driving, or, you know, whatever, what have you, at the office. You'd be like, gotta go. Do the, you know, the moonwalk backwards kind of thing. Because it's not to anyone's advantage to have arguments and things that are futile, right? I'm just saying it does tend to bring that in, but it's also power in the way that you can motivate yourself and have that spirit to achieve your goals, which is what the new moon is about. You write down your intentions and you make them happen. You create the manifestations. In every moment we're doing that. So let's go with the reading and see what the first week has in store for you for June, as we're approaching the first week already. And you have, I love it, Marlon Brando, the Hierophant. Wow. And 5 is, you know, 5 is challenged. I mean, let's face it, I would say, although you can work yourself through anything, you know, and make it right. You are able and capable. You know how to handle yourself. You know how to speak in ways that you can talk yourself in and out of anything, you know. It's just, it's a beautiful gift, to be honest. But the Hierophant is a major arcana, number 1. And the Hierophant is our, I would say in a lot of ways, our highest power, you know, our teachers, our guides, literally, figuratively, our mentors. It is definitely has to do with a lot of times, I want to say, religious rite, as far as any kind of like ceremonial thing, like marriage, for example. You know, you have to go in and there's this certain ritual that it's done, and that represents that. So it makes me feel like with this romance very peaked in the month of May, June, and pretty much all of the time that Jupiter's in Mars, because when Jupiter, is in Aries, which is Mars is also in Aries, it's affecting the 7th house, the polar opposite sign of Libra, directly across from Aries, you know. So relationships, love, money, Venus ruled. The first eclipse, the solar, is Taurus, Venus ruled. 6th month, Venus ruled. Magic, you know, love, passion, ecstasy, sensuality, money, you know, windfalls, unexpected gifts, the list goes on, and perhaps engagements and taking your relationship to the next level, and just passion personified, you know. That's what I feel. And I feel like for you, a lot of Geminis are, well, they're very, very interested in, you know, love and relationships, and whether it just is with yourself or what have you. And when you're in one, you are true blue, you know. It's not to say that you stay in one your entire life. It depends, obviously, because you are, especially when you're younger, I think you probably don't want to be connected for, I mean, you probably do get connected, but then you change it about so you can learn and grow and what have you, like a lot of us. But this is a steadfast commitment kind of energy. And I get that from that incredible, powerful, you know, for new moon energy of the Taurus, which is all about planting a seed and letting it grow to last for long term, okay? And remember, once again, besides Venus ruled aspect of Taurus, we have the money sign in Taurus. So there's something that could be benefited with another person maybe, or a commitment you're making, whether it's a job, it doesn't have to be a relationship. But this is good. This is sturdy, it's strong, and it's also your own guidance, and listening and being very, very real and truthful with that Scorpio moon, full moon, man. It's all about the truth coming out, whether it's in the world, which is happening everywhere, whether we want it or not, it's absolutely happening. And I do want it. There's a lot of things I have been compelled to hear just to really decide for myself what I believe to be truth and so forth. You would be a part of that as well, but I digress. So the second week, that's already happening. That's how you're coming into June. That's pretty powerful. Second week, oh, I love this. I don't know who this actor is though. That's why I'm going to look it up, I think. Well, I see the new moon in the background right off the bat, which, you know, it's just been 5 days since that happened. Wait, that's not true. There's 31 days. So this is the 6th day. So that new moon is still affecting. It's the Page of Cups. And this is about the heart. This is about the Cancers, Scorpios, which is what we had, the full moon, and the Pisces that live through their emotions. Different, very different from an air sign like yourself, where it's always lived through our mind and our thoughts and our ideas. You combine the two, though, you have the power of our thought and intention with the heart and the feelings, and you got it all. I mean, that's how we manifest. That's the real deal. And the pages are the youthful, the more, I like to say, green around the edges as far as the newness of it all. Once again, could very well be a child, someone already existing, or someone you want to have be a part of your life, whether it's through your own, you know, body or surrogate, whatever it is, adoption, something very prominent, and, you know, going through the proper channels to do that comes to mind. There's so many different options, but love, just love, this feeling of real emotional happiness, the child in you coming through, and recognizing it's important with everything that happens in life that can be very, very sad at times, especially when you're in your emotions. Having fun and just literally enjoying your life for exactly what it is at this very moment, you know, instead of thinking about yesterday or tomorrow, and something we all tend to do very, very easily and constantly, I would say, unless we really take the time to stop and say, nope, I'm taking this breath in this moment and allowing the power to just work itself through me and ground me at the same time. So that's really beautiful. And so that's going to also be well, my goodness, that will be the full moon. It's on the 14th. So that's the second week. So some incredible, perhaps romantic overtures, invitations, conversations can happen. Definitely about travel, though, because I know that's such a huge thing on, well, a lot of Sagittarians, including one of my sons' list, is to have their vacations booked well in advance. And even better now, because with Mercury retrograde out of the picture, I think that things will come in smoother as far as reservations and the plans, but you always want to double check your itinerary for sure. So the third week is between, you know, the full moon and then the new moon, and then it will be actually right around the summer solstice, you know, which is a beautiful time, and you have strength. Whew, look at this. Well, first of all, Sigourney Weaver from, oh my gosh, what was that? I gotta look it up. I didn't even look up the last one. Strength. The Leo, the fire, the ambition, the trust, the knowing that we have as much strength as we've ever needed. Digging in and getting it out, you know, pulling it through with this Pluto influence that's come through quite a bit and will continue to do so. Pluto did retrograde, as I was saying, on the 29th of May, and then Saturn retrograde yesterday. So I don't have in front of me, because I'm not a professional astrologist, like I said. I read it and I recognize it, but I don't memorize it, and what house Saturn will be in for you. But the retrograde, of course, always involves introspection more, because it appears to be going backwards and reminding us and reviewing things and being, you know, being internalizing things as to how things are working for ourselves specifically, and then how that affects others in the process. So let me read the book for you really quick. The Page of Cups actor is, well, this would be the minor arcana. Okay, so the page. What the heck? Okay, here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. The Page of Cups. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't really help me, though, because I want the picture and I want to know who's associated. So please bear with me. I apologize. I didn't do this ahead of time, although I wouldn't have known what card I was going to pick. I know all the pictures are in here, though. Well, they had the major arcana, so what's with the... Why are we not... Well, here it is. Okay, thank you. Okay. So the page. Oh, my. We've got all that. They've got the queens. And the Page of Cups is, where is that? Oh, well, that makes sense. So this character is Joseph Fiennes, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right, in Shakespeare in Love. Wow, that's been a long time. I think that was with Gwyneth Paltrow, though, right? And it's love. Like I said, there's invitations, there's conversations. Of course there is in this month and to come. And rightly so. And then, you know, celebrations that bring on even more festive kind of feelings. And you know, when you're fun and you're happy, that's when we attract love. That's when we attract people that want to be around us because we're having a good time, and that energy is very contagious, right? And then, of course, strength, Sigourney Weaver, but... what is the movie? You know it. Oh my gosh, it's so long ago now. I remember seeing it. And the thing in the stomach and stuff. You guys all know what I'm talking about. Oh, Aliens. Okay. Woo! Yeah, that kind of strength. Dealing with seeing something that crazy and outlandish and, you know, like outer spacey kind of stuff. That's happening a lot now too. And that's what cups indicate too. It's not just about the thought and the, you know, the logic behind anything anymore. It's about, that really happened? We're really experiencing this? I don't know about you. I've gone through a whole lot of that in the last 2+ years, Gemini. I'm a thinker, just like you. And yeah, I want everything to have some kind of conformity and make sense in some form, but a lot of that just hasn't happened. I do have a Pisces rising, so I can totally relate also to just like, it just is what it is. I mean, it's as much a part of everything as anything else regarding what we're talking about. So anyway, so let me get on for your last week, because that is the beautiful, and I think it will be for a lot of us, this beautiful new moon. And it will have a lot to do with your home. And I know for a fact one of my good friends, her birthdays, I have 2 good friends happening. Their birthdays are this Wednesday the 9th. And one just bought a house, and they've been looking for so long, and it's not near here, but I get to see her ever so often, and hopefully the weekend, because it's the birthday. And The house is absolutely beautiful, and I mean that's what this is exactly about. So they've only been there, I guess, since the end of April, beginning of May. It's still very new, and there's tons to do, I'm sure. But I feel like they're really going to just start to feel the comfort, the Geminis that are involved for some reason in a home that you bought or the one that you have. You want to kind of beautify it and make it feel like it's really your own, and having your own little touches that are on, So that's what I feel. And with that person that's so special, and I'm actually getting emotional because I still think about that, I think it would be great. And then there's another part of me like, I don't know that I could do that. So the last week of the month, Gemini, it's making all this last month and everything well worth it, because it's the Two of Cups. There's your partnership. There's a new moon that brought in this, and the one that's going to come in Cancer. So let's just say you've been with somebody for a long time, and a lot of you have. I know this. There's something new. I mean, that's the beauty of relationships. It's ever changing and evolving. I've talked to people married for 35, 40 years. They still have little spats about similar things that they know they'll never conquer, but they come up anyway. They're just a little easier now, 40 years later. But it's just interesting to me, you think, oh, by then it doesn't matter. This is beauty. This is love. This is not necessarily, if it's not romance, it's definitely partnership. It's coming in very, very strong. And I go back again to the analogy of the Jupiter in Aries with the influence, of Libra. And that's absolutely partnerships and compromise and seeing things from all different perspectives and thinking it through, right? And the compassion and love and caring that comes with that, and just sacrifice a lot of times, right? It's true. What a wonderful, wonderful, changeable, but absolutely one in the sense that you've got the Hierophant to start this prophet, if you will, of information, and you've got the love that's coming through with information and beginnings, and you have the strength to get through anything that may have been difficult, or the thought that maybe you're not worthy in any way, shape, or form. And that does happen with the Pluto influence we spoke about briefly. And Scorpio, just digging deep, like, I want to change that about me. I want to be feeling good regardless, because I am worth it and I am enough. That's the uplifting tip I want to bring spiritually to everybody in my readings, because I'm very sincere about that. This is a happy, let's make life better channel. Okay, I'm not into the dark aspect. It's always there, of course. It'll always be there. I don't focus on that. Two of Cups, okay? This is what you deserve. There's camaraderie. There's good times. There's love. There's celebration for you. It's your birthday month. So fantastic. I hope you like this deck, because I just made, like I said, you are the star. This is the movie tarot. You are playing your role in life like we all do. And so now I'm going to pick your animal medicine card. It's a beautiful deck too, and they're big. I really like that a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to think, is there any messages that Spirit's trying to talk to me about right now as I'm putting this in here? Because it's just been a lot. There's been a lot that I think a lot of you were thinking, oh, I would have had that done by now, or, I'll be well on my way to this, that, and the other, and that didn't happen. But alas, it's happening, okay? And it's happening big time. And after the shadow period, figuratively, literally by the 19th of June, which is Father's Day, there is a clear path for forward movement and actions and pursuing whatever it was that you had started and wasn't, being able to be finished or completed through, I would say, August 21st, from what I'm reading, and I love that, okay? And then we talk about another retrograde and other things, but animal medicine card. Hopefully the clarity will, for me as well, get clearer and clearer, because it just knocks me over with the feather these days, with and the things I was forgetting that I'm so aware of and clear of. But I was in a new location for work as well, and that kind of mixes you up anyway. And I must have left my purse at work at least 2 or 3 times, which I get home and I'm like, I don't have my purse, because I kept it in a place in a new location where I had never kept it, but yeah, anyway, I don't work that far, thank goodness. It's just like, wow. I hope it sinks in now, three's a charm. So this is just, our animals and the animals in life in general, they're an essential part of our lives, and they're co-creating here with us. And I don't know, they have so much wisdom that they can offer, and I would say incredible awareness and intuition, and I just think they know a lot of stuff. So I love seeing what specific animal spirit is coming through for you in the month of June. And you have salmon, and I laugh because it once again is a reference to, for me, it's water, it's the fish, it could be the Pisces energy. Well, Neptune is in the sign of Pisces and has been for a very long time. And it's just making me think now, I forgot to mention that, with the full new moon, it's a full moon. Yes, it's going to be squaring Neptune. So it's the only questionable thing about this positive, fabulous full moon in Sagittarius, because Neptune is the god of the underworld, the imagination, the fantasy, the foggy, maybe not so much like it really appears to be, and deception, I suppose you could say. Look at that beautiful card. So if you have a specific idea and plan, and there's this wonderful arrangement happening with someone you care deeply about, don't, and if it's new, you might just want to make sure you're not going head first, okay? I'm just saying, I know it's boring, it's not fun to hear that, but it might be wise, and I think you're wise enough to know that. But sometimes, when that love thing kicks in, you're like, wow, everything is perfect. And so, and then there's the wonderful fluidity that, you exude too, and just kind of going with the flow is a good thing to do. Because, as I said, with this whole Mercury retrograde, you can't control a lot of it, and I think that's what really probably affects a lot of us, myself, is knowing it's about being open that month, and then looking at your schedule and seeing the changes in the reschedules, and it's just one after another. It's just like, okay, oh, okay. You can't do anything about it. You can cry, you could get upset. Why? What's the point? That doesn't feel good, but you feel it nonetheless. So the salmon, let me read to you what it says, though, for heaven's sakes. I apologize. Okay. So salmon, where's the booklet? Oh, here it is. Salmon, and I love salmon. Oh my gosh, a lot of people are like, Marianne, don't say that. I do, I eat salmon, I do. I didn't eat anything like that. I was a vegetarian for so many years, and I had to add the protein. It's a good one. They're very, very salmon. I mean, just the whole analogy. They every year they go, and they know to go to this certain place. I don't remember the name right now. It's just they know instinctually the cycles and where they climb these high, dangerous, mountainous crags and stuff to get to the other side, I believe, and they harm themselves, and a lot of them don't actually make it, and it's instinctual, and it's not going to end. It's the ritual, it's fate, it's destiny. It's phenomenal. There's so much about nature that is it's breathtaking. It just keeps me in awe. But I'm not describing that well, but nature channels do far better. And so salmon, just to describe a little more for you. Intuition, well, that's about knowing where to go and get back to for that, annual thing. Gumption, return to source. Always return to source when all else fails. Stop. Breathe. Take a moment. Allow yourself to just be, and return to source. Salmon swims upstream against the current. Oops, okay. With strong instinct and great strength. And there's that strength card again. You can, and we do, get through pretty much everything. Look at what we've gotten through. I sit and I'm so humbled, and I say I love so much that, yeah, it wasn't fun, it wasn't pleasant. I would never have chosen it, as far as I know. Apparently we choose everything, but I I'm here. And a lot of us aren't. And so it opens my heart. It really does. Salmon is unperturbed by others moving the opposite way with the flow. Salmon wisdom shows you how to push past seemingly impossible odds to attain a goal. And emotions and circumstances shift like the changing weather. And that would be your duality, I might add. You're familiar with that too. It's just part of your nature, you kind of different ways. Salmon teaches you to use the power of intuition and resolution to be unswayed by external forces. Man, that's an important thing. I'm going to say it again. Salmon teaches you to use the power of intuition and resolution to be unswayed by external forces. And that takes strength because, a lot of ways we rely on, whether we really want to or not, and I think lesser now than before. We rely on our external forces, our government, so on and so forth. We have, and I don't know, that's rapidly changing. The secret to salmon's stamina is that the goal is always guided by and aligned with the returning to source, okay? Something that's free to us, something that's always, like I said, available, and that is constant. It's constantly there and happening. So that is your animal spirit wisdom for June, and I would imagine your whole life, okay? But it's going to be very pertinent this month. The key words, of course, with your reading, certainly love, resilience, intuition, and strength. Okay, so let me set this here, and let us finish with your beautiful rune message. So let me pick it out of I'll put this one back from yesterday's, as I read for Taurus. Okay, and we'll pick it, and it has a beautiful alphabet. Ooh, okay, this is like a boomerang. I felt like I had this memorized, and right now, as I'm telling you that, I'm not remembering that I did, and I don't even think I read it that long ago. I apologize, but I have my flashcards for that reason, because eventually it will, over and over, you do it enough, it will actually become a permanent memory for the most part. But I want to say it's like a V, but it's not a V. Let me see what it is for you, okay? I feel like I read it recently, so that could be, nope, I actually read the other one. Okay, so I'm wrong. I hadn't read it that recently. I was thinking of another one. Okay, let's see what we got here. I want to say that I was fascinated with runes in 1997 when we got our first PC, and it was a big thing, And people would play their solitaire, and I'd think, what's the rune reading for today? And it seemed to be very in line with what was happening, and as it is with many of my readings. So hang in there if you will. And in the meantime, if you have not had a chance to like or subscribe or share or just thumbs up or comment, whatever you want to do, I would love to have you doing that. I believe this is it. Yay! It looks like a V, but it could be an L. Let's see. It's a K. Okay, now the only thing I can tell you about this is there's no way as an English letter that you would think it's a K, but what I remembered that I'm now remembering again, and I hope to remember yet again, is it's the bottom part of a K if you really look at it. Here's the stand of a K, and then there's that, or the middle. So that might be a way to, just for me personally, it's pronounced Knez, letter K. Oh, it's rune number 6. So it's very, very synchronistic with the fact that we are talking 6 energy again, right? And the Venus. And the month being ruled by Venus and the effects of Venus as a 6th month. Torch, fire of knowledge. There's that passionate, beautiful, powerful, strong energy of Aries coming through. The keywords: enlightenment, knowledge, education, passion, sexuality, on fire. Already talked about that. This is perfect. This is what I'm talking. This is why I love doing readings so much. Magical working, gain insight and knowledge. Well, that's something you thrive on, Geminis. Enhance learning, of course. Raise energy or passion. That's coming. It's coming. It's coming as far as you know, and more so as the month goes on. And the months, because of the Mercury retrograde dissipating, lighting a beacon. The key phrases are knowledge, expertise, enlightenment. Of course, that's who you are. Passionate interests, lust, desire, sexual urges, adult in nature. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I think it does emphasize some of the messages that came through for you. So yay and yay. So don't take my word for it. Spirit's on top of it, okay? And now it's up to you to, you know, just take it in and just grab it by the horns and just say, yes, I'm ready. And have an incredible June. I would love to have you come back. July, I'll be here. And seriously, happy birthday to all of you. Lots of fun things. Hopefully you'll get away and you'll tell me all about it, okay? So take really good care. I love and appreciate you being here. I really, really do. Until next time, bye for now.